Alright, we're reviewing Buffalo 66. I just finished watching it. It's Sunday. I'm still in Minnesota right now. Um, I didn't like it that much. I just did an 11-minute review of it, and I'm deciding to do another one, basically. So that's shorter. So I'll try to talk faster, and I'll try to not spoil the entire movie, just talk about what I want to talk about. Okay, so initially, I felt like there was only one character in the film, and that was the main character, Billy Brown, and there were no other characters that were, more than paper thin. Everyone was just extremely two-dimensional, didn't have anything interesting about them. I mean, he was only slightly deeper than that, I felt, because you learned about his sort of past, you learned about all of the weird things that happened with his family, well, at least a handful. You learned that his father and mother didn't love him at all and all of that stuff, and so I thought that it sort of made sense as to who he was. I can understand how someone from that background would lead to grow up to be such a psychopath. He's just a very crazy, not all there person, doesn't like being touched, doesn't understand what love is. So I get that, but everyone else, two-dimensional. Anyway, moving on. One of the metaphors that I saw, I don't really understand. Well, maybe metaphor is not the right word. But anyway, his bladder, he continuously needs to use the bathroom. Or at least needs to use the bathroom at inopportune times. Like right after he gets out of prison, he needs to use the bathroom. And so he tries to go back into prison, and they tell him, no, you can't. And so that was weird. And then he spends the entire, next 20 minutes looking for a toilet. And it's sort of always eluding him. And then again, later on in the movie, he leaves Denny's, and then he needs to use the bathroom, and the bathroom he gets to is closed, and so he has to go back to Denny's, and it's just sort of a continuing theme of closed bathrooms and him not being able to relieve himself where he wants to. I don't know if there was something deeper with that. If you guys found something, I'm assuming you're going to talk about it. I just, I did look for something, and I could not find what that was a metaphor for, or whether it's that he can't find happiness, but he's constantly searching, and when he does find it, it's not where he wants it to be. I guess that sounds good, but I don't know if that's what he was going for. Anyway, so there was that. There was the whole the Buffalo thing and how his mother loves football more than she loves his son by a lot, and doesn't even remember that he's allergic to chocolate. Doesn't even remember his name. You have the random kidnapped girl who falls in love with him for no reason. There is no redeeming aspect about his personality whatsoever, but for some reason, Christina Ricci falls in love with him. Explain that one to me, please. I didn't buy it. I didn't understand it. It just seemed like he happened across the one crazy person who would let herself get kidnapped. Like, she, after the first, 2 minutes of being kidnapped, clearly actually just wanted to be there. For whatever reason. Like, she could have gotten away so easily. He was so bumbling and stupid and, not in control of any situation whatsoever. She was just like, alright, fine. I mean, he can't drive stick shift. He has no weapon on him whatsoever. And so they switch seats in the car, and she drives him wherever he wants. It would have been nice to have some more depth to her character so we understand why she is like that. Because as it stands now, she just happens to be this person who is madly in love with him for no reason. Anyway, his father, I didn't get why he was able to sing. I didn't know what that had to do with anything. But his father has the singing thing going on and is kind of a lech and was hitting on Christina Ricci and all around jackass. And killed the puppy. That was weird. That was scary. I didn't like that at all. Anyway. And then there's the Wendy person, Wendy, who he tells the girl who he kidnapped that that's her name, but it was actually the name of a girl he had a crush on, and then she comes back later, and she's a bitch. And I did like that one scene, Denny's, where Christina Ricci's crying, and Wendy kind of looks over at her, and then they're kind of laughing, and they're like, don't worry about it, she'll be fine, and they go back to making out. That was alright. And then the death scene at the end of the movie, I loved. Let's go back to bowling for a second. The bowling scene, that's what he does. That was his one moment of happiness. The guy has two friends, a retarded guy and the random guy who runs the bowling alley. And it was just kind of, I didn't get what the bowling scene had to do with anything. I didn't get what lane 13 had to do with anything other than that was his lane, and that was sort of, that bowling place was his center, his place of happiness, and now he wants to go kill a football player who apparently ruined his life because he made a bad bet. All in all, it just doesn't seem like he's put together anything really well, but he just wants to sort of enjoy himself there. and he with Christina Ricci. After that, they go to the hotel, and he's like a dick to her. He's a total dick to her, and he doesn't pick up on the fact that she likes him. And so he's like, don't get your hopes up about us sleeping together, because I was only kidding about laying down with you. And he's always only kidding about things that you would never kid about, like, in a million years. So he says that as if that will negate what he said and make them not believe that that's what he's going to do. And it doesn't come across well. It just makes him look crazy, which he is. So I guess that works. And then the actual scene in the strip joint it was a good scene, not because there were naked women, because they were all pretty ugly in my opinion. That scene was supposed to be like, I think all of the lust and sexual tension he has felt, well, not tension, but like just pent up sexual desire that he has felt, sort of seeing it all, because he has been in prison, and prior to that he just hadn't had a girlfriend, and he had just been longing for this one girl, and that was clearly the only girl for him, and she was a total bitch, and he is still kind of blind to the really beautiful girl that he has now, for no apparent reason. And so he sees all of these hideous women surrounding him, and I have no question that their appearance was a directorial decision. Like, that's not just the most attractive woman he could find to try to get in a strip club. Like, they had awful underwear. One of them was missing a tooth. You had fat men that were just kind of bulbous and, clearly supposed to be, like, hedonistic. Yeah, that's the right word. And you had some older guys, and then you had the actual field goal kicker, who was this huge fat guy, and he just looked disgusting, and he offers him a drink. And then there's this fantastic death sequence. That was like one of my favorite sequences in the movie, where it shows them both dying, even though it's only in his mind. Spoiler. Anyway, but I really liked his expression when he shot himself, and the expression on the other guy, and the way the blood splattered and everything. I liked that a lot. And then I liked the funeral. I thought the funeral was really funny, with the mother watching the football and the father being like, "I'm miserable and cold. Let's get the fuck out of here. I don't care." And then at the end, he becomes like fucking, I think he becomes Ebenezer Scrooge at the end of A Christmas Story. Christmas Carol, not A Christmas Story, different movie. But like, he just suddenly is a nice guy and starts doing nice things. He has not done a single nice thing the entire movie. The entire movie, he has not been redeeming in any way whatsoever. And suddenly, he's buying guys cookies. I don't buy it. I don't get it. I don't know. I mean, I understand that it's supposed to be like, oh my god, this woman is in love with me. Suddenly, my life is worth living again. I don't think people change like that. And so, I didn't think it was a good movie. Not because of just that, but just because, I don't know. I didn't enjoy it. I'm sorry. I didn't hate it, but I did not enjoy it. Would not suggest it to other people. I'm out.